The mysterious god of rock has revived the souls of the universe's greatest musicians to clash for his entertainment. Revitalized with new bodies and new powers, each musician will become a contestant in a battle for musical supremacy. God of Rock uniquely blends rhythm-based gameplay with fighting game mechanics in intense 1v1 matches. First, choose from a dozen unique fighters, each with their own design, mechanics, and harmonic attacks. Next, select your stage. Each stage has its own music, and depending on the unique combination of selected characters and stage, your gameplay changes, providing a new experience every time you play.
I'll end this quick. I've got places to be.
Rhythm. It's something you either have or you don't.
Once the battle begins, notes start to appear on the screen. Each note corresponds with a button prompt. Your goal is to hit the notes in sync with the beat. Each correct button press corresponds to an attack. As you hit the notes, your characters start to engage in combat. Press the buttons too slowly or miss a note, you're vulnerable to an attack from the opponent. If the opponent is hitting the notes correctly, they block your attacks. Each character has their own special moves and attacks. Special moves typically have 3 levels and passively recharge throughout the game. They have a cooldown period once used. A special move is done by inputting a directional command and then pressing a button, like in a fighting game. Here you can see that King's level 2 special adds additional notes to the other player's fight chart. If the player misses these notes, they take damage. Special moves can also interact with the opponent's fight chart in surprising ways. For example, King's EX move accelerates the pace of notes on the other player's screen, forcing them to rely on faster reaction time to hit their notes. Meanwhile, his opponent Rosetta has tricks of her own. One of her special abilities uses her spray cans to splatter the opponent's fight chart, making the notes more difficult to see. Ultra attacks are the most powerful moves available to players. As you do damage to your opponent, your ultra meter builds until you can release your ultra move. As the battle continues, the song gets progressively more difficult. Each player will need to keep up as the speed and frequency of notes increases. The song continues until someone is defeated. The goal is not to beat the song, but to beat your opponent. To win the match, you'll need to combine all of these techniques, from staying on beat to carefully landing your special and ultra attacks and countering your opponent to ultimately defeat them in musical combat and become the God of Rock champion. God of Rock releases this spring with over 40 original rock tracks, 8 dynamic stages, and 12 characters, each with their own unique playstyles. The characters use mechanics inspired by fighting games, such as charge characters, grapplers, Rekka characters, trap characters, and more. Pre-order now to join the universe's greatest battle for musical supremacy.